All right, MK put out a review of his own official, so we're going to be reviewing that demo review. Like that he has a video in the bottom right, so you can kind of see his emotion, his reactions. You know, that's something that I don't have that he has an advantage of me on. Beginning, we just have a little bit of a preamble. We can kind of skip forward a little bit and see how it goes.
So generally speaking, on this map, we roll out through main right here on saw. So I'm using the winger. Usually don't use the winger, but I was just doing it for this map. So kind of playing the power position here. And the demo is like kind of focus firing me. And I'm marking the soldier and then like calling that I want to take beam there.
I think I think that's mostly fine. It's interesting when they're overloading your side. You know, they're putting 3 people on that top right. I think it's smart to just jump off of it. But one thing to identify here maybe is that leaves open a lot of space for you guys to go left on it. So you'll be like in a more passive role here, rather than necessarily needing full beam.
They're kind of weak, so we kind of want to slow down and get healthy a little bit. Unfortunately, a soldier kind of lands on my med when he was already pretty low and takes him out with a rocket. And so now we're at pretty big dista because their med didn't die. And so I'm telling my team to play the point, play their lives, and I'm going back to pick up my med to ensure the disad is like as small as possible.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, their position made it really hard to like sell out quickly to get that.
Okay, so
kill
we
on the
lose
med.
our demo, and then at this point, we trade demo for soldier, and I think my soldier lives. Okay, so now it's even players, but our spawner will be quicker, and so I'm thinking to take that fight and pressure there, which it would have been okay, but I kind of just get blindsided from the right from that scout in 2-shot.
Yeah, it's kind of the second time they've sent somebody that doesn't get called and reacted to by your team.
It's not dead yet. Still building Uber.
I'm not sure if that's a common thing or just the last 2 things.
We still have kind of position. So at this point, we know the Ubers are like going to even out pretty quickly, and so I'm kind of just hanging around, trying to spot the soldiers. And at this point, I think I call that I want to take an exchange, but they're kind of giving us the point for free, so we're sitting playing the point. They have Uber. Okay, so they use, we use. My demo gets out. I shoot this demo because he's not flashed. The med drops the demo in the fight, and then we're kind of back to playing our side. We have crazy cap time, and now we should be trying to play forward with an explosive class because they've been going slope. So I'm here. I was a little bit slow in that, but I got there eventually.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird exchange. I mean, it works out for you because you guys absolutely destroy him with the kills, but I don't know. It's very odd that you don't really want to be exchanging when you don't have the point. I mean, like sometimes you have to, but you're not happy about it. But works out.
So soldier hits that guy. The soldier is pretty low. Hit him 54. I'm back on height. We're down. We're like really unhealthy, and we're down a player.
Oh.
So I'm calling for a bow, shooting the sticks. Now I'm just kind of trying to play the point. Gets one hit for 103. The scout chases me, beefs all of his shots, and I get out back door.
Kind of feels like you're like basically saw that you were all passive and tried to make space yourself, but that's could have died there. All right,
And
exchange.
we have the point this whole time, so this is perfect for me. I do 54 in the Uber exchange on that scout. Another 37. Soldier lands my med, turn for him. It's a good surf by my med to get out.
Where'd that soldier come from?
7. I do 54 in the Uber exchange on that scout. Another 37.
Behind maybe?
Oh, again, and call for another boat this whole time. So this is perfect for me. I do 54 in the Uber exchange on that scout. Another 37. Soldier lands my med, turn for him. It's a good surf by my med to get out. So now they're down a bunch of players, and it's just a med scout. So We could have maybe, if my soldiers in a better position to bomb there, we could have bombed and chased. But I kind of call to just play the point, be more
Yeah.
reserved, set up traps, get prepared for them to come into us. They're hard building though, and we haven't really been hard building. So I call that, and I say that we could be at like 20 to sad. So in a position like this, when we're at 20 to sad, we kind of just really need to play our lives and play the point for us to get our Uber out. I kill a soldier, and I'm calling to tank me on the point, but my med gets hit by some spam. So I call the kite back kill box. There's just a free soldier there for me. And here, down a soldier, and they have a soldier spawning, and I call an exchange,
Yep.
but this demo is trapping the corner there for some reason.
Oh, no,
And
no,
I
no, no.
think
That makes sense. Hold on, let's go back a second. That demo is like super alone and like has to trap off that point.
So I called a kite back
So they're
kill box.
down 2. You see a scout up there, so you know that like at most there's a scout demo
There's just a free
medic.
soldier there for me.
So you see all of them.
And
You see that
here,
how they get disconnected there.
down a soldier, and they have a soldier spawning, and I call
So the medic is probably back there. Scout's probably up top back there. This demo is alone and immediately has to like trap himself off.
an exchange.
So yeah, that one makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised by
But
that at all.
this demo is
Also, you saw him doing it earlier
trapping
during
the corner there
Uber
for
fight,
some
which was kind of
reason.
weird, but
And I
makes
think
more
we
sense here.
still end up getting the force. So yeah, we got the force with our demo bomb, so it wasn't the end of the world. So now we kind of have reset the Uber situation, and we're kind of just looking to get healthy, wait for our demo, and dry fight.
So one thing here to just, well, let's see if you talk about it, I guess, but you only have 20%, you have basically less than an
I
Uber
freaked out
charge
'cause I thought
left.
there was like a soldier hiding close.
So
with
if
that
you can get
rocket.
Uber when they don't have Uber,
right
you're
next
just
to
going to
me.
win that whole
So
round. Like that's a
poking
win
the
condition
soldier,
for you.
reloading a little bit. I would have probably liked to take a buff before I even
Ooh,
got on the
expected
height
soldier
there,
now.
instead of jumping
Yeah.
up there, because I could have just eaten spam at 125 and I could have just died. So now I'm calling for my
You see that like,
demo to stick off the point and me just play the point with the stick.
this feels like a bagel strat almost. Like get point control, flip the point, and then keep them off with spam and stuff like that. I don't know that. I feel like it's a little bit less effective on Clearcut because the point takes so long to flip. I mean, they're kind of giving it to you a lot, so maybe it's good.
That guy
But
gets pipes, so
I'd still be
try
just
and
trying to get that
chase
medic
for a
kill,
pipe.
and you basically
Uh,
win.
For the kill, that is, sorry. Soldiers on height, just getting healthy again. And here, my med
Yeah.
is like a 99. It gets dropped by a market garden.
So this is kind of like the opposite of what I was just saying. Like, at that under 40-second mark, medic kills are worth even more than they normally are, or like forces or whatever. So when you're like almost if you're like, we're just gonna play until we get Uber and then we're gonna use it, I feel like it is something I would expect that they would be trying to sell out for that, because once they get under 40 seconds, they also have the same win condition as you.
Weapon is fun and cool.
Unfortunate that actually the spoon
I could
actually
have
happens.
denied, but I was kind of looking to go forward with the Uber exchange, so it was just kind of unfortunate timing for us. Here we have a bunch of cap time, so we don't have to be super worried. And we kind of just take this fight again. I do really good damage to that scout. Soldier's isolated. I see the traps on the box, so I'm kind of nervous of those. He ends up deading them. That soldier gets dropped on and killed. And here I would have liked my soldiers to be more on height here, but we're kind of like all on the point trying to cap. That's not that end of the world because we get the cap, and then I call to like go back and play our health economy, get healthy.
Yeah, you have a good
And
sense
so now
of
the onus is on them.
the relationship
to try
of
and get
like
on the
health
cap.
and
They have a soldier.
positioning.
He tries to mark a garden again. He doesn't get it this time.
Yeah, it's a weird market
Starts
gardener
the damage out to lower. they used. So they don't have Uber, and we can just Uber back in,
Oh, your
clean
demo
up
lived.
kills.
Okay, yeah, that's huge.
Missed that shot.
I thought
We
your
ended
demo
up
was
getting
dead for
that,
sure.
and so that ends up being the first round.
Yeah, I feel like that you're kind of playing it like there
Um,
was normal
Pretty
amount of time
close,
left at
but
the end. Like the dry fight,
I
slow
mean,
push, Uber exchange stuff
on
makes a lot of
COD, you
sense.
just have to really be focused on Uber exchanges and kind of taking the 4-man sacks. And as long as you can keep in mind of those two things, as well as being healthy and not all eating the same damage on the point, uh, at least for Clearcut specifically, it's a pretty straightforward map. It's not as hard as like a bagel, where you basically have, you know, three
Ooh.
separate fights going on at any time. Everyone can kind of interact with each other on Clearcut. So we have both soldiers, but we're down one soldier. So I'm trying to just kind of play the cap, which realistically they have no soldiers, so we should be able to bully them off point way easier.
Yeah.
My soldier kind of just bombs the left house, which I was kind of calling because um, my scout was kind of just taking the fight, and my soldier wasn't really doing much. But my scout dies, and it's not the greatest. There, I was concerned about somebody being on the right height. Turn for that soldier bomb. My demo's a beast, and he gets 2 pipes.
What?
And that soldier comes in from, I don't know, soldier bomb. My demo's a beast, and he gets 2 pipes.
Where's
And
that soldier
comes
from?
in from, I don't know, I'm a noob, and I didn't spot him. As Pocket Scout, like, ideally you should be super focused on tracking the soldiers the whole game. Right here, we're not capping the point to not deny our med. And then we kept the point, and I go back to taxi our med.
Yeah, that was a weird. I don't know where that soldier came from.
And so we're kind of in a similar situation again, where it's going to be like a slight disad, but we have point control, and we can always just play our lives and back up, and we should be able to get in time to play an exchange. Here I called because like they were all kind of on the left side. I see the soldier there, and I turn. I thought about getting a wrap through main with the pressure, because I saw basically 5 in front and 1 soldier there, so I knew a wrap through main was free.
So you guys gonna go for? They have, right? Am I crazy? Shouldn't they should have? So are you guys
It was
just trying to get out, or are you trying
not
to?
that great. There I look.
I think it's unclear.
Do lots of damage on the scout, beef the winger shots. And so I know that they could have Uber like pretty much like now. You can kind of tell by like body language, but they don't really take it.
I think you guys just intimidated him into
Here
it.
I'm kind of reloading to take an exchange.
Whoa.
I force, yeah, that scout just gets nuked, headshot rocket, and I kind of go back to play my side. Demo gets juggled. I don't have my pistol reloaded. I literally ran out of scare gun shots, so I have to just shoot with my winger. Not ideal, but nonetheless, it was a decent exchange. The med stays in, even though they're down players, because they're trying to edge that cap to get the time, because they have, you know, pretty big cap time, but they just lose the med for it. And then now this is like pretty significant ad.
Just want to
The
check
med
real quick.
stays in, even though they're down players, because they're trying
Seems
to
like your
edge
soldier
that
gets
cap
caught out there.
to get the time, because they have, you know,
Oh, they're just really
pretty
hurt.
big cap
They can't
time,
really.
but they just lose the med for it. And then now this is like pretty significant ad. But you have to be thinking about like what is from the perspective of the enemy team, right? They know that it is pretty large ad, and they have a minute, right? So
Yep.
the med kind of walks up way further than he should here, because it is ad. We don't have quite yet.
Yeah.
But they could, if the med sticks around, he can just get catch shot.
Yeah, it seems like you're really posturing aggressively to like defend the point, even though if they had right then, which they probably do, they could pop immediately and probably wipe your med demo and maybe you, something like
sorry,
that.
caught out by an Uber.
Now you're
They
mostly
probably
okay,
had enough
but
time to send a 4-man to try and drop our med, because now it's an Uber with full ad. I kill the demo,
nice.
do like 100 to the scout. Scout's going back door. We don't end up killing the med with it, which kind of sucks. But we get 2 kills.
Yeah, I would have trapped that scout in if
on
possible.
the demo and their explosive classes. So
because at some point, like pretty early
like
on, you can tell that like, oh, I can't get that medic, so I'm just gonna get kills. Which I think you're right there.
passive. Like
Trying
we
to like
can
hold
play up a
everybody
little
there
bit
would be
more.
really
Soldiers
really big.
jumping in. My soldier's hiding, trying to catch them out kill, and I didn't kind of expect the beam to go out kill box there with Uber, and so I peeked around before he was able to call that they had popped, and I kind of like ideally I shouldn't have done that. He should have called that they used Uber, and I should have immediately gone back, but you know, not awful. We now basically, if we cap the point, we win this round. So
I'd be just like playing your Uber,
clearing the trap close right.
I mean, you get one Uber
Scout, you want to focus on
fight
clearing
win,
traps,
and you win. Especially if you get a force or something like that.
And not clearing the main ones that well. That's a scenario right there where like I have the buff and I'm trying to get up here, and now we know that because our med lived. This is ad, so I want to take this.
Oh, but you're by yourself.
The house, not showing beam, and so the med
Nice.
is just completely caught
Ooh,
off
get
guard.
out, get out, get out. Oh.
We kill the med. I do a lot of damage. I do like 120 damage to this demo. If my team was a little bit faster, I'm following up on my damage because my med didn't want to end so deep. It would have been way cleaner for us. But I could have also played further back. My med gets a saw on the scout.
I think they're the Uber started when your team wasn't going to be able to follow up on it. So as soon as you get that med kill, I would have just ran right out. Like, I know you got good damage, but there was nobody around you to be even able to like to possibly do it. So I don't know. I think there might be like. I think you probably could have noticed the like
tracking the soldiers, playing power positions,
the situation a little bit cleaner in retrospect, maybe.
You want to focus on the most on scout. There, I kind of play the movement.
The demo shoots up there as soon as the soldier's about to go up there each time.
The scout is a little too far forward. I do like 60 damage to him, but he's able to get out. My soldier's behind. He's calling a lot of damage on that demo, so I'm able to commit forward. Here,
where's your med?
The demo, so I'm able to damage commit forward. Here, I'm like we kind of trade out. I could have played that better, I think, if I jumped forward into the box.
No.
Basically kiting back into the rock.
No. I think you did the right. I mean, like, yeah, you can always shoot better and dodge better, but if you had a little bit more health there, you would have totally been fine. Your medic was playing far back there, probably looking at the who's alive rather than following like where everybody was and health and all that. Because I mean, we'll see, I guess, but you can already tell that like this demo is going to get eaten alive. Medic will either die or get forced and then probably die afterwards, rather than you guys cleaning that up, maintaining that power position.
But
like that's just like a classic
just
medic
small micro play.
Needing to demo dies.
Gone better for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
medic gets forced and now you have nobody to follow up on. So hold on, let's I don't mean to like go back on everything all the time, but
I'm able to commit forward.
So right now
my soldier's behind you.
You're down 2 soldiers and they're down 1 demo man. You're scout soldier. Your medic is probably like, oh, we're losing this, which is not really true. Like, you have a bunch of control.
He's calling a lot of damage on that demo, so I'm able to commit forward.
You should be at 180 and then stay up. That should be a free kill. You still have a soldier behind also.
Here, I'm like...
And then your demo's here, your medic is...
We kind of trade out.
all the way back here. Like, yeah, that's...
I could have played that better, I think, if I jumped.
I don't think that one's on you, really. I think that's like needing to identify the position here. Mostly your medic probably needs to understand that a little bit better, but even in retrospect, being able to see like the multiple steps that go into
Unfortunately,
this
we
like
have to
this Uber
use-
force that
Because
is
my med
limp,
was going to die.
you know,
But we
that's
kill the med,
crazy that you get a med kill out of
so
there.
not bad.
That's crazy.
We could have had a better Uber, but we're gonna
No.
have ad again because we killed the med.
No,
before he
your
got-
medic forced himself on accident.
Now I'm calling the medic to tank me.
Yeah, hold on.
Have
Sorry, I was
ad
a little
again
distracted,
because
but
we killed the med.
medic's dead. They're gonna force.
Before he
They're gonna
got-
sell out for you. Probably. They don't have to.
No.
You don't have Uber, but
I'm calling the medic to tank me.
yeah,
But they all
could maybe
double bomb
bunker early,
land
but
on me.
I mean, I'd probably just, I don't know. Playing it back is fine there too. That's a tough situation. I don't. Oh my god, nice shot.
Soldier tries to go for the hero play salvage, but would have probably liked him to play his life a little bit there. It's
Yeah,
on the end of the world.
it's tough.
We'll be up in 1 second when you can play the dry fight. So this is another scenario where we're at a slight disad because our med died, but we don't have to be
Soldier's looking
super
to
afraid
bomb.
of it currently because they don't have the Uber
2 soldiers.
quite yet. And as a pocket scout, the other thing is like if you can read the body language of the players when they're going to initiate. I'm a noob. I'm trying to take height. My fault, but you know, when I've been. Oh my. See,
Jump's killing
and
you.
I just keep eating damage trying to take that height. Because Demo just keeps shooting. Soldier is trying to land. He goes behind. But we've evened it out. So we've evened out the Uber percentage. I do lots of damage to this guy, and we're calling to take an exchange through trench.
Okay.
So I shoot the med uses,
There you go, dude.
and I go back to our side. I notice that the demo is not flashed, so I try to do some damage to him. But it's still like a pretty scrappy fight there.
This is actually very similar to that other Uber exchange where it wasn't an Uber exchange. You just Uber. It was like a solo Uber where you killed medic and then shot demo, and you know your team couldn't follow up because they weren't in position. Like there, you're going for a solo Uber there just to take the exchange, which I think is the right play. But as soon as
Not the Uber percentage. I do lots of damage.
like when you miss, like when you don't kill in that, basically you're really far deep, and so getting that force, you're like, okay, great, I would just book it as far as you can. I mean, like it's still tough. Your team needs to be coming forward just to like get the position, so that's like a bit on them. Like they should already be on height. Your demo's mostly in a good spot. I like the sticks, but here like you're gonna die. Your medic's gonna die probably if you go for that. I mean, if you basically you're just hoping that you can 2-shot that demo, which is plausible, but I mean your soldiers aren't here. They were hurt, it looks like, but that totally makes sense that goes very poorly. I mean, honestly, you guys do all right, all things considered, but
Can't remember. Okay, the soldier dies. I think my team ends up winning this just from like a DM perspective, right? Because
yeah.
no beam on either side, no Ubers, and it kind of just comes down who can hit their shots.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sitting back. I have a soldier on height already, so I don't have to be super worried about the shed necessarily, and he's going back on height. I think my soldier, yeah, okay, so I remember now. So my soldier called that they were on a sniper, I'm pretty sure. That kind of sucks. They just double bombed my med, and
I was kind of
wasn't
wondering
the
why you
best
weren't on
at
roof. You're like saying that you were
receiving it.
spotting them, but it makes sense that they.
okay,
had
so yeah, they
sniper.
were on sniper. That's why I was playing off the roof.
Okay, yeah.
Here I chase even further.
Yeah.
I remember I beef all my shots on the medic, and I have nothing loaded. I try and go for the melee, but I mean,
That's unfortunate.
he pulls out his melee, stands still, and the my demo cleans him up. So
Yeah, it was a good play though.
we can play the ad again. So we're kind of just letting them capture the point. We're not in a huge time crunch, and we can play the ad. So
So they're
Not
probably
the
gonna
end of the
4-man onto you. Wait, oh man, your ad is like dog shit. I mean, you can use it, but
so again, we're looking to dry. I knew that the demo, was respawning, so I didn't clear the trap there. It wasn't like a dry push where they had already had lots of time to set up. My med eats a pipe here, and so I try to kite him back to the pack, and that's something that you want to be looking at too as pocket scout, is just keeping track of your med's health and kind of using yourself to taxi him to other things. Here I have both scouts looking
was
at
good.
me.
I mean, surviving that
Try
and
and
containing
shoot the
both scouts
six.
is really good.
I call that we're going to take an exchange trench here. They
Okay.
use
Solo exchange.
demos unflashed again.
I like it
think I
more
killed the
here
demo, yeah.
just because there's nobody
So we're
else left
ending
in,
back on our
and you have
side.
so
There's
much
a soldier
time.
on height. We kill him. So now we just have to be concerned about people forward, right? And we have crazy cap time. So I'm playing the point, and we're kind of just sticking off. I'm playing a little too aggressive here. I could play it further back. I'm trying to. That's like a scenario, right, where you know that the soldier's standing still, trying to get the bow, so he's probably low. So my medic actually ends up bowing him and killing him. But I had no scat. I switched to my winger and shot him. But that's a scenario where you can kind of run forward because you know that guy can't get active on you. Waiting till I'm kind of full buffed. We send somebody behind. And this is like a scenario where that guy's trying to.
Yeah, I liked the passivity there because you didn't have your demo for a while, so you have to like kind of assume all their players are going to be like full health buffed, all that good stuff. And so like representing that you're willing to fight but not actually fighting, I think is really good. I know that like part of your decision making there is probably that since you already have the point, you don't have to contest it or whatever. But I don't know. That was
trap, so he's not looking
smart.
at you. Soldier high behind. We have a soldier marking him. I'm still a little bit concerned about that soldier. He gets in. I kill him. Right. I'm trying to play my HP. I could have not played that as aggressive, but in a way it works out because both their scouts overcommit trying to kill me. So
Yeah, I think this is
a little bit concerned
pretty
about
great.
that soldier. He gets
you get that. I mean, ideally you hit all of your meat shots, all
in,
that good
I
stuff,
kill
but
him.
like you push him off. You have really good spots that if you hit one of those meat shots, then that guy's dead pretty much. Your demo's right with you. I think that's
Right.
all great. And then you peel off as soon as you're like, here's a good spot to peel off. They have to over peak in order to do it.
I'm
If your
trying
demo
to play
cleans
my
it up, that's
HP.
great. But like,
I could have
I don't know. I think you did a
not
great
played
job
that
there.
as aggressive, but in a way it works out because both their scouts overcommit trying to kill me. So that's a scenario where like something that you're doing is causing the enemy team to make a misplay, but like if they were better, they didn't.
Did you also kill your medic during that? Oh my god,
But
that's actually huge.
in a
Like, see how this is like the thing that I was
way
talking
it
about. Like,
works
you
out
have the
because both
round
their
one now.
scouts overcommit
Their
trying to kill
medics killed.
So
Nobody has. I mean, there's not going to be another
that's a
Uber from
scenario
them.
where like
They might come with crits,
something that you're doing
but
is causing the enemy team to make a misplay, but
you have.
know,
You're good.
like if they were better, they didn't have to both just hard commit on me. They could have taken the positive HP and gotten height, shot at me from height instead of
Yeah. Good exchange.
just shooting and overcommitting for me.
What's your
dying here.
demo in this?
We take the Uber into them.
I'm glad your
There's
soldier went
5
with you.
seconds. They have some cap time. So, like there, I was just, I took the Uber in and I was trying to shoot them, and so I just had not a lot of
no.
scatter ammo.
Yeah, I would have really liked your demo to be there. I mean, it's glad your
so
soldier
I
was there,
couldn't
but
really,
it's a little bit
do
dicier than it
much in
should
the
be.
post. My med hits that arrow. It's pretty beast. Still ends up dying, but prolongs the point a little bit more for us to get back. That soldier is bombing with 70 HP and just dies.
Yeah, they're just trying to
Okay,
like
we're
make some
playing the
big play
cap,
because they may
right?
lose.
So the
No, it's
scout
still
is
weird.
trying to deny it, but we have a soldier in height, and we have a soldier close, and we're kind of just nuking them as they jump onto the point.
Yeah, your soldiers are basically acting as a demo there. I don't think your demo's here. Yeah, demo's dead.
And just
Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, it'd be great if your soldiers were up top, but it's okay if they're just like, you see all the enemies there, you know where they're at, you can hit those shots. Yeah, there you go.
So again, that was just kind of another misplay from that soldier. He was 70 health, and the cap time was such that he could have, instead of jumping directly into a scout, he could have jumped backwards, got healthy, and then he would have been on height shooting at us. And I got down to like 60 health in some of that fight, so he could have probably killed me with one rocket. So
Yeah, I think you do a good job. Oh, soldier's going to
not
jump
the
early.
best from the enemy team. They sent a double bomb.
The reason I thought that is like demo all the way on the, I guess, your right here. It's really odd to me.
That
Maybe
fight.
they took a lot
So
of
he
extra
could have
damage at the
probably killed me
beginning,
with one
but
rocket. So
shooting that fast and you see the soldier makes me think soldier's going to
not
jump.
the
Maybe
best
even
from the
double
enemy
bomb.
team. They sent a double
I mean, you
bomb.
do see it, so.
He literally butter shovel
Butter
team.
shovels
They sent a double bomb.
you. Yeah.
He
No,
literally
I think you did all right.
butter
I mean,
shovels me, but
you know, hit
end up
shots,
killing
don't get hit kind of
them.
shit, but.
here we're calling to get healthy before we try and take a fight. My soldier was already pretty healthy and committed on the flank, so, but we trade out. And so I'm getting back, so the soldiers should be getting back pretty soon too, because we're on similar cap times. Soldiers on height. I'm playing to get the cap because we have the cap time.
I think that's fine, yeah.
Here, unfortunately, my scout just gets
So just
directed
make
by a
sure
soldier. Soldier
exchange
jumps
is good
in.
now.
Don't do as much damage. I think I called to go backdoor or
That jump.
no. We're playing an exchange.
Yeah. You got to get kills now. Oh, you can't go for it here.
This was a pretty bad Uber. I remember this. You know, with an exchange, ideally you don't want it to be super telegraphed because they can kite it and kind of really hard milk the Uber. But they kind of do the same thing that we did.
Yeah.
Except they overcommit everyone trying to kill their med. Kill my med, sorry. And we kind of just win the post because they didn't shoot at anyone else with the Uber. And so we were all very healthy to collapse on them in the post. So ideally I would have liked to go backdoor there and kind of surprise them with the Uber a little bit more. Just fighting the scout, kill him, go back, try and play my health a little bit more, calling for my med to tank me. Here I know that my scout kind of has the pressure inside.
Just think about the
Go back,
calling for your scout to
try and
tank
play my
or your
health a
med to
little
tank
bit
you.
more.
Med's a little hurt.
Calling for my med to tank me. Here I know that my
115.
scout kind of has the pressure, and so I just commit forward. Because
definitely
they
think-
have to be concerned about multiple pressure points. Anytime when your team is doing something, you kind of want to try and play off it.
Yeah.
And that's a scenario where I kind of did just that. You kind of just want to look for any advantage you have at the time, right? Like if you think about it from a spatial point of view, right? We're really hard pressuring on the left side because my scout has 1v1s up there. So like if you see it from this team's perspective right now too, right? We lost a soldier on our right side, and so we should be concerned about pressure from that side. But I know that this is ad, so I just kind of take the Uber in, and it kind of can negate that advantage that they got. Miss all my shots, do 175, that guy's just being tanked. Another not great Uber, and I think
Yeah,
I kill both
oh my God,
soldiers.
well, that'll work.
my
I
med
don't think I'd be worried
lives,
so much
and
about
he's
your
just with the mini pack and trench, and he's just beam regenning.
your Uber is not as
And
important
this is a
as
scenario
I don't know.
where, um,
Like you're not trying to negate their Uber that much because they haven't touched the point yet and you have so little time left. Like I wouldn't like it's great if you can get that med, but I would be more interested in like um foremanning for the med rather than Ubering for the med. Um I mean I think that Ubering for the med is totally fine, but if I'm doing that I would much rather have more than just you there. Seems like a lot of times when you're like when you're ready to take that Uber aggressively and like especially in like a small timing window, it seems like it's just you and your med a lot of the time. And sometimes it works out when it's a good exchange thing you want to do. Sometimes it works out because you hit all your shots, and sometimes it's you know not you don't have enough firepower to get what you want to get done fast enough in order to either escape or turn to other targets or whatever. Um,
like focus fire, the same
so I don't
thing,
know. It's kind
right?
of
Shoot
interesting.
as a scout, call who you're shooting and get your teammates to shoot, that player. Kind of pressuring the soldier off height. My demo is shooting the height too. I'm playing a little bit too aggressive, and if I went out again that side, I probably would have gotten killed. But going out backdoor and rotating around, that scout wasn't, worried about me because I was off his screen for a second and I was able to get a kill. Soldier messes up his bomb, lands on my med's head. I beat a few shots, but I get the soldier kill in the end.
So here they're down 2, right? Like I would be trying to send it, not with your med, but like they're down 2, you can get a force here,
so here
or
we're
med
just
kill.
playing the point because we have some soldier kill, scout kill.
Yeah, see that could be their
the
last.
Exchange. I'm out of it
That's
because
great.
I thought my scout
Oh yeah.
was not as healthy as I was,
Nice.
and so I wanted him to get the Uber flash as opposed to me
Nice.
getting the flash at 185. But it was just kind of a miscommunication, and my flank scout not being as comfortable taking the Ubers. So in general, the things you need to focus on like Koth are marking the soldiers, playing Uber exchanges in a way that doesn't super telegraph the beam, and then not being afraid of the Uber on disad necessarily, but understanding that you need to get out and cut your med out if you get used on. And so also like recognizing power positions and playing them, and those like change depending on the kind of pressure points that I was talking about. For example, if you win, your flank wins a fight on the left side on their house, as a combo scout, you can kind of play to pressure even more from that side, and you can kind of overwhelm that flank. If it's kind of similar to like a flank shove on Bagel, except it's just pressure that is being exerted by DM in a way. So this is just like my first one.
Yeah, I think you do a really good job of recognizing the relationship. Maybe I already said this earlier, but the relationship between like damage, health, and like the softer advantages, and then how they relate to position, which is also a soft advantage, I guess. Like being like, oh, they're hurt, that allows you to take height, or if you retreat, then you can retreat to height, re-heal, and that allows you to like maintain the hard advantages of like player numbers, Uber, or whatever. So I think you do a good job kind of throughout all that, discussing that, and like even how you play, it's kind of evident of that you're thinking about that type of thing. I think there's like this stuff that I would have liked to see you talk about more, as like more of the relationship between some of the more game statey stuff, the stuff that's like maybe is easier for people to look at, of like, maybe not number advantage, but like what are we doing with this Uber kind of stuff? Like, can we realistically kill med or not? How do we get that to happen? How do we, who do we need in order to do that? How do we get those people into position? That type of stuff. Um, and then I talked about it earlier, but like specifically thinking about those critical timing positions or timings where you have, you know, 30 seconds left on the clock or less, and you know that if the medic gets killed, they will not be able to get Uber if you have point, like they'll run out the clock, and playing that a little bit more towards your Uber advantages, thinking like, our goal right now is get one med kill or med pop, and then we have a round one as long as we don't like majorly mess something up or if they don't make some huge play or whatever. Thinking like get the med pop, expect a full commit, then we win kind of thing. And I think that type of stuff will I think that's like one extra piece that I think would make a big difference for you. Also that like med disconnection from you, like being able to understand, like I think that there's like a little bit of like getting more on the same page that you can maybe identify of like, why is there so many solo Ubers that are, most of them are exchanges, but like some of them are actually forces that are you're calling them an exchange, but you're exchanging in order to force their Uber. So like thinking about those and having your demo with you, or that time where the medic baited you in favor of the demo and then everything kind of collapsed, like being on the same page there is a little bit bigger. And then I don't think we talked about it much, but there's like a couple times of like being able to identify, I don't know if I'll even be able to find a good example of it. There's like times where you're like this actually might be the one I was talking about.
Turn. I thought about getting a wrap.
There's times where you have like the demo and then a soldier or two, and just like being able to say like, okay, I know that they're going to jump me. And they're going to jump me. The demo is going to shoot a sticky, and that's going to be the timing of it. I think every time you probably jumped off, which I think is mostly reasonable because it's like, it's important to have control of the opponent's roof, but it's not like the medic can still dodge a lot. Like it just mostly makes the medic move over to a bad position, at least in my opinion. I don't know, which is really important to do, but like it's not the end of the world. It's not like they're actually on top of your med, and it's not like it's hard for them to really bomb your med very fast there. So it's not like a big deal to like jump off the roof and then get back on later, or even just jump off once and get back on. But you could even like, if there's two soldiers down there, you could take the risk and jump once, double jump back on, and just kind of like hit them in the face of their jumping. Because like even if you don't kill them and you just slow them down for a little bit, like two soldiers down there, it means your entire flank can like push forward really aggressively. And you might have been thinking about this and just not gone over it, but I don't know. That was another thing that I noticed with that. But good review. I think it was really smart. All the stuff you were telling about the health stuff and like, what's the word you used? Not power position. You were saying that like pressure points. I think that's really smart to like think about that, because I think you also talked about like sometimes you're eating the same damage. That's just the same thing in reverse. So anyway, good demo review. Hopefully this is funny at the very least.